This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julianne Wrigley.
Jefferson wrote a letter to Madison when they were designing the federal government. He decided a federal bond should be one generation. To him, it was 19 years, but as we know, it turned out to be 30. But he thought it should be one generation. This was his logic. He said the earth belongs to the living. No man may by natural right oblige the lands he owns or occupies to debts greater than those that may be paid during his own lifetime. Because if he could, the earth would belong to the dead and not to the living. The earth would belong to the dead. So, at that time, I decided I would have one simple design question that I would bring to all my work. And that question is, how do we love all the children of all species for all time? What if that is the first question we ask? And it's not just our children. It's all the children. What would happen to design if we asked that question? And what would it mean for us to find ourselves here, as we now call it, the Anthropocene era, the era where humans have become the dominant species, the era where we can change climate. 99% of the large mammals on the planet are under direct human management. Think about it. The Anthropocene. What does it do to our heads if we think about that? Because see, design becomes very important because design is the first signal of human intention. When you get up in the morning and you have intentions, you are a designer. So what are our intentions as a species? If we intend to destroy the planet, pollute the water, we're doing great. If that's the plan. And if you say, well, I didn't really, want to cause global warming all the way over here. Okay, but that's what's happening. So it's become our de facto plan. It's the thing that's happening because we don't appear to have another plan. Who's got the plan? So we also decided we will design for 10 billion people. That's our assignment. And we can't just stand here and say, oh, woe is us, we have to reduce the population, like you might have heard from some famous recent politicians that are talking about climate change, etc. If we don't love every child that's born, if we look at a kid in India and go, population problem, human rights cease to exist, just like that. We have to love every child that's born, celebrate their creative opportunity in a world of abundance, not a world of limits. Limits to growth, 1972, highly problematic because it looked at a lot of materials and systems and said, oh, when they end up with the end of their useful life, they're fully depreciated. They disappear off the ledger. Where did it go? Oh, it went away. Where is away? Once we saw the planet from outer space, 1968, away, went away. Where's away? So let's honor every one of these children and celebrate abundance for them. We have an abundance of renewable energy. We can become, once again, native to place. These are our stories. Gregory Bateson wrote a book called Mind and Nature in the early 70s. Anthropologist, husband of Margaret Mead. And in it, he coins the term cybernetics. And and this is when there were punching cards and we still have basic, computer language, right? And in the book, he's telling his daughter a story about the future, and he's talking to a computer in the future, and he says, tell me, computer, when do you think computers will begin to think like humans? And there's a long pause, and the computer says, that reminds me of a story. What are our stories? What does it mean to be native to place? I think all sustainability is local. I think our planet is our local place, as well as the smaller fractals that we inhabit. But let's remember our planet is our home, and we're not leaving. We're not going away. What would that mean? Well, that means it's time to be more good, not just less bad. It's different. We don't walk through the forest going, oh, overpopulation of trees. It appears that ants have about 4 times the body mass of humans, but we don't have an overpopulation of ants. They all inhabit various sectors of their ecosystems and do their work. We don't have any ants that don't have jobs. And what are they doing? They're constantly cycling everything. Okay? So, it's time for us to rethink. Rethink. And it's not just reduce, reuse, recycle. That's not enough. We have to recognize that we have become, as a species, strategically tragic. Now, how many people you know are in business? If somebody said you're strategically tragic, I think it's time for a strategy of change, don't you?
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.